to Monday Morning Business Foreplay because why not start this way, right? Like, there's always got to be something. And my Zoom just went out. How fun is that? Okay, that was weird. It blinked white and blue. All right. This morning, our co-host is Kimberly Crowe. Kimberly, we're so excited to have you. I am so glad that you got that cup of coffee because you're going to need it. I don't know why we're a hot mess, except that it's a holiday and it's Zoom and it's Monday. So welcome to Monday Morning Foreplay. Kimberly, why don't you go ahead and give us a short but personable intro to you so we understand your why and where you're coming from before we jump into your presentation.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm so excited to see those of you who are here live with us right now. For those of you I haven't met yet, I'm delighted to meet you today. My name is Kimberly Crowe. I'm an international inspirational public speaker, and I'm all about handing you the mic so you can step up and shine on your own.
Very good. And so international, I know you do cruises. You want to tell us a little bit about your next cruise? Let's tell us a little bit about your next cruise.
Sure. We're doing a speakers cruise. It's called the Influencers Cruise, not for like TikTok influencers. I don't even know how to spell TikTok. But it's for people who want to make an influence in the world, who want to make a contribution, and they want to do that by speaking. So you will actually join us as we're recording this, since it's live, on May 15th through 22nd. We're going out of LA. We're going to do the Mexican Riviera. It's a 7-night cruise, and we will have you speak on the cruise ship. It's going to be super fun. Of course, we'll have lots of programming for you as well, teaching about how to make money from stage and how to leverage the 4 types of stages, how to become an authority in your field. We're also going to have the Authority Gala Awards on that cruise ship. So if you've won an award, you got to be there.
This is awesome. And so today we're going to talk about, I've heard a lot in the industry recently, just in the online business world, about doing webinars and the best way to do those. Everybody's got a way or a technique, theory behind the system they have for the webinars that they do. But today we're going to talk about why a webinar is better than a funnel, right, Kimberly?
Slightly. Actually, I have something even better than webinars to talk about, but it is what you're alluding to. It's something called workshops, and workshops are, for me, the new sales funnel.
So let's talk about the difference between a webinar and a workshop.
Yeah, I can tell you in one word: transformation.
Okay.
Does your audience get a transformation, or are you just throwing up slides at them? Are you just teaching at them, or are you helping them get a transformation? And when you help somebody get a transformation, it rapidly builds the trust factor, and they know that they can get results from working with you. So we'll go through the 3-step process to making sure that you have an amazing workshop, which will then lead to leads and sales and so forth.
I like that. And so the reason that I like that, and I think it's more interesting to me than a webinar, besides the fact that you're saying it's like a webinar is more maybe just teaching or talking to people, but it sounds like it's a lot more interactive. And I really am all about building relationships. And I think when you have things that are interactive, that those are totally geared towards building those relationships. So Kimberly, why don't you go ahead and dive in and show us?
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm super excited to be here today. Thanks, Coleen and Nicole, for the stage. This is absolutely awesome. You have a great group, and everybody's already involved putting things in the chat. So let me know how you identify. Are you a coach, a healer? Just 1 or 2 words. Coach, healer. Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a creative? What is it that you represent? And I just want to be sure we have the right kinds of people in the room. So I've got a strategist, guru, healer. Awesome. Okay, you guys are all in the right place. We want to make sure that the good work that you do in the world is seen by a larger number of people. That's it. It's just that it's not that you don't have the right solution. It's that the right solution isn't being seen and understood by enough people out there. So I'm going to give you a 3-step process to convert people in a workshop, and it's really, really powerful. Now let's talk about why workshops. We got into it a little bit. It used to be like just do a funnel and you'll get loads of leads. You can run ads to it and you'll get loads of leads and it'll convert, right? or just do a webinar that we were talking about earlier, right? You do a webinar and it's going to convert, you're going to make lots of money. And then I also heard challenge, right? Do a challenge, throw a challenge out there, and you'll convert a lot and make lots of money. And I am not saying that any of those things don't work, because they do. They just don't work as well as they used to. They just don't work as well as they used to, because our audience has become more careful consumers. They become more adept at being able to do research and find out if you really are who you say you are. And you want to, when you're buying stuff, you want to be sure that you're working with a person who can really do the thing, not just say they can do the thing, right? So workshops have a huge advantage on all of those methodologies. So when I first started doing webinars, had pretty PowerPoint presentations, and I would throw them up and teach at people. And maybe I had 20 or 30 people on at the beginning of the webinar. And by the end of the webinar, I only had 15. And I told my mentor this, and he's like, 15, that's great. We usually get 2 by the end if you have 30 at the beginning. You're doing great. And I was like, ooh, wow, losing half the audience. It just doesn't seem right. And then the next thing that came at me was like, do a funnel, right? And so I built out all this tech, and I was like, okay, they're going to first see this, and then they're going to get a bump offer. And then after the offer, they'll have a OTO, which is a one-time offer. And then they're going to buy that too, and I'm going to be rich. And didn't quite work that way. I built these pretty funnels, and sometimes the tech broke, sometimes it worked, and not everybody was like, oh yeah, I can't wait to grab 1, 2, and 3 ways to pay you right out of the chute. It just didn't work for me. And I'm not saying it doesn't work, because it did. It just didn't work as well as I wanted to. And the challenge seemed just like fun. And I'm all about fun. For those of you I've met already, you know, my motto is, if it's not fun, it's not worth doing, right? So we're going to have fun with it. And I was like, a challenge. Let's challenge our people. It's going to be super fun. Well, I threw together a challenge with a partner of mine, and we were like, this is going to be awesome. We got people in the front end. 200 people signed up for our challenge. And I was like, I'm going to be rich. This is going to be amazing. And then by the second day, we dropped off about 25%. And then by the end, we only had about 50% of the people who showed up. But that was still 100 people who were with us in the challenge. And we invited those people to a 2-day event where we were going to teach them and make an offer. And then on the first day, we probably had about 50 people show up. And that was still, it's usually, you know, from a free event to something like that, it's usually about a 30% conversion. And the numbers kept dwindling and dwindling. By the second day, we had even fewer people there. We made an offer. We made 2 sales. 2 sales for a big program, but 2 sales. That was a lot of work, and turning a lot of people to convert 1% of the original audience. So, that was a lot of work that got put into it, and a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of tech and a lot of struggle. And I'm not about any of those things, right? I would much rather help people get a transformation of their own and get something done, and then let them build their trust in me. So I have a 3-part strategy to help you do that. Now, a lot of you have already put on workshops. Put a 1 in the chat box if you've already put a workshop on before, put a workshop where people actually get a transformation, or put a 0 in the chat if you've never given one before. So we have some people that have done workshops before. All right, well, I have done, have you done 10 workshops? Have you produced 10 workshops? Put a 10 in the chat if you've done 10 workshops at least. All right, put 100 if you put at least 100 workshops on in the last, let's say, 2 years. Put 100 in the chat box. In the last 2 years, I have done, in the last 4 years, I have done 200 workshops. I've produced over 200 workshops in the last 2 years. And I will tell you, this is the secret that I have like glommed onto, because it's absolutely incredible. And the reason that it's so successful is because you get, if you do it right, you give the audience a transformation during the event. So they actually do something with you, and they build that know, like, and trust, but they build the trust, the T part of that, significantly, because they are experiencing with you a transformation during the workshop. Now, somebody had asked, somebody just asked, do you charge for the workshops, or are they free? Great question. Yes. Hey, you can charge for the workshops or they are free. Yes, both of those things. But what you're really after is the transformation for your audience, because that's when, if they transform during your workshop, at the end of your workshop, they're more likely to have built the trust and know you can do what you say you're going to do. You can teach them and they will actually have success. And I think that's what most of us are struggling with, is like, we're ready to buy the program, but how much work do we have to do? How much are you going to make us do before we get the transformation, right? How much are you going to do, and how much are we going to have to do in order to actually get that transformation? Now, I have a terrible belief, and it's very sexist, but I believe that most women want to pay to learn how to do stuff, and most men want to pay to get it done. I don't want to learn to mow my lawn. I just want to pay somebody to make that happen every week. You know what I mean? So it's fine if you want to learn how to do stuff. I did too. Like, man, I wanted to learn how to build out a website. And I did. Like, the first website I ever built, I was playing in Wix and I was moving stuff around. It was very pretty. Got lots of compliments. They were like, "Oh my God, that's an incredible website." And then I didn't want to do any of the maintenance. Like, ew, gross. Like, I don't want to update it. I don't want to keep doing it. That's not me. It's just that I wanted to learn the science behind it. But then, and I wanted to do it myself. And then I wanted to be able to know what was in that, what I call black box, right? You have this black box of a website. If you had somebody else build it, you're not really sure what's in it. And you're like, if I poke it, will it break? Like that kind of feeling, right? So in a workshop, ideally, you're giving them their transformation and their learning so that they actually get to experience it, and then they can offload it if they want, but they know what's inside that black box. Okay, so you ready for the 3 steps? Awesome. Give me some jazz hands if you're with me. I love it. I love it. I love an audience that'll play with me. Fantastic. Okay. And Coleen is here for the fun. Fantastic. All right. So the first step is connection. The first step is connection. Right. So when you build out this workshop, and I've done over 200 in the last 4 years, when you have the workshop, the most important thing is connection. You can't do that with a webinar. You can't do that with a Facebook ad. You can't do that with a funnel, right? You can sort of do it with a challenge, but are you really connecting with them? And in a workshop style, in a workshop where you're actually giving them a transformation during the event, then you get a chance to connect with them. But the connection has to be about you. You have to get vulnerable at the very beginning. You have to tell a little bit about your story, how you came to have this experience, how you came to become an expert, or how you came to become so passionate about this particular area, right? Of whatever your topic is. And you're going to give them a transformation during the event. So that connection, like, I've been through this, I know what it's like, and I'm going to give you the solution during this event, and you're going to work forward from this event. You're actually going to accomplish something. All right. Which, by the way, if you guys are with me today, you're going to do that. This is a mini workshop. This is not the kind of workshop that I count in my 200, but this is an amazing mini workshop. Okay. So number 1 is connection. And you already know how to do that. You already know how to connect with your audience, how to make sure that they know that you are authentic, that you are vulnerable, that you are sharing, that you're telling your story. All right. Your why story, if you will. All right. Number 2 section, you're going to give them, get this, novelty. Novelty. You're going to give them novelty, something new that they haven't heard of before. Now, this is like your secret sauce, right? This is your secret sauce of something that you can teach along the way. You got to be sure that they haven't heard of it before. If I came to you and I said, "Oh, Lois, Elena, Beth, Coleen, Nicole, I'm going to give you a technique where you can lose 15 pounds in 3 months." You'd be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm interested. What is it?" And I'd be like, "Eat less, work out more." Oh, I already knew that. That's not new. Okay, you're like, you lost them, right? You got to give them something new, something to hang on to that they've never heard before, where they're like, "Ooh, this chick knows stuff," or "This guy has got his act together," right? So this is your secret sauce, and you're going to give them the strategy, the how, the what and the how, but you're not going to necessarily give them everything, but you are going to be vulnerable and share what it is that you offer that's different from other people. All right. Now, ideally, you're giving them something that's structured in some way. So a 3-step plan or 5 keys to getting this, or even maybe even 6 mistakes that entrepreneurs often make in trying to build this out, right? But you're going to give them some sort of structure where they're like nodding along and they're like, yeah, that's starting to make sense. I think I can do that, right? It's got to be in bite-sized portions so that they're able to actually make that transformation in themselves, but they actually can understand that it would create results for their audience as well, and for their conversion. All right. So number one is connection. You're going to connect. You're going to be vulnerable. You're going to share a little bit. Then you're going to give them novelty. So you're going to give them the secret sauce during your event. All right. During your workshop. And then here's the key, and this is where everybody breaks down because it's nerve-wracking. You're going to give them a challenge. You're going to give them a challenge. This is where a lot of people call it the call to action. Fine, it's the call to action. But this is the challenge, to have people actually step up and do something. So I'll put a little image in the chat for those of you who are here with us live. You're going to give them connection, then you're going to give them novelty, and then you're going to issue a challenge to them so they can actually make that transformation. All right. This is the 3-step formula to teach your way to a steady stream of coaching clients. I know a lot of you don't want to close, a lot of you don't want to sell, a lot of you don't want to do those one-on-one conversion calls, but if you can teach your way to a steady stream of new clients, this can be very, very powerful for you. All right. So first give them connection, then novelty, then challenge. So for those of you that are in the room with me today, we're going to do that. You guys came through this with me and you met a little bit of who I am. I gave you a 3-step process where you could do something new. My challenge to you is this. If you have a program, product, or service, you guys identified as a coach, healer, you identified as an entrepreneur, you gave me words that were amazing that I'd never even heard before. One of them was like sage or something like that. It was totally awesome. It is, if you guys have something that can help people transform in their lives, then I issue you the following challenge. Are you ready? Look at your calendar. Go 4 to 6 weeks out. Pick a time on your calendar and put a 90-minute section on it for my new workshop. Now, here's a tip from somebody who's been doing this quite a few times over the last 4 years. It's over 200 because every week I give away a program from one of my joint venture partners, and we build out a workshop every week for one of my joint venture partners. But in addition to that, I do my own workshops every 3 to 4 to 5 weeks. So tons of opportunities to do this. So over 200 times. You have to build out a 90-minute workshop because 60 minutes, 30 minutes will not give them the transformation. They don't get a chance to actually do the do. They don't get to do the thing they need to do. All right. But if you give them enough time to be able to do it, then they will transform. They will get something done during your event. So 90 minutes is good. Now, what day of the week? In my opinion, it depends on who you're after. If you're after parents, weekends are pretty good. If you're after entrepreneurs, weekdays are better. In fact, entrepreneurs are very specific. Don't be before noon Pacific on a Monday, and don't be afternoon Pacific on a Friday. And the very best day is Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon Pacific or morning Pacific are both good. So like 10 a.m. Pacific on a Wednesday or 1 p.m. Pacific on a Wednesday. So now that you guys are here with me, for those of you who actually did it and took up the challenge, I want you to put the date of your new webinar into my chat box. Put the date of your new webinar into my chat box. 4 to 6 weeks from now, ideally on a Wednesday. Tuesdays are also good. Thursdays are also good. Thursday afternoons are ideal. Lots of opportunity there. Oh, I have a couple of dates in the on the chat box. Wonderful. If you guys are opening up your calendar and making that happen, fantastic. Coleen and Alana both picked April the 1st. Are you joking? Like, is that April Fool's Day? Nicole said March in general. That's awesome. And then Lois said March 25th. I love it. Specifics. Fantastic. All right, now I would love for you to put the name of your new workshop in the chat box. But before we do that, I want you to think that naming conventions are critically important. It has to attract your ideal audience, obviously, right? But naming conventions are very important. I'll give you 3 steps to a sexy, irresistible workshop title. All right, 3 steps to a sexy, irresistible workshop title. This is just my opinion. You can throw it away if you want. You can, like, if yours is converting like mad, use yours. If it's not, try adding this. Number 1, be clear, not clever, cute, or creative. All right. Be clear on what you're going to teach us, not clever, cute, or creative. I was at dinner the other night with a really sweet lady, and I said, "What do you do?" And she goes, "Oh, I teach a class on massaging your meat suit." And I was like, "Oh, she's a masseuse. Got it." I mean, like, it was cute and clever. No, she didn't do that at all. You know what she does? She helps people identify the top 10 buyers in a room with micro facial movements. What? All right, so it was cute and it was clever and it was creative, but it was not clear. It was not clear. Not good. All right. All right. Number 2. So be clear. Be clear on what you're going to teach us. Number 2, put a number in your workshop title. A 3-step process too. The 5 mistakes of. The 7 reasons why. The 6 pillars too. Our brains want to know how much or how long, right? And if you say a 17-step process to whatever, we're gonna be like, ooh, wow, that's kind of a lot, right? But just make sure that you put a number in your title. It could be 2 weeks, how to potty train your 2-year-old in 2 weeks or less. That'd be kind of cool, right? Awesome. Figure that one out. But it could be, if it just needs to be a number in your title, okay? How much or how long? All right, and number 3, secret to creating a sexy, irresistible workshop title is put the name of your target market into your talk title, into your workshop title. Put the name of your target market, like an entrepreneur's 3-step guide to winning the customer. All right, what is it? Be very clear what you're going to teach. Put a number in it. And now that I've said that, give me some workshop titles in the chat. Give me some workshop titles in the chat. Awesome. You guys are coming up with creative, totally cool stuff. Now, if your workshop totally works, just like if you're like mine actually works just fine, it's converting like mad, totally great. Keep doing that. It's just an opinion after doing 200 of them, right? Totally awesome. If you guys have I almost lost my water. Awesome. Cool. Oh, you guys are putting the dates in it too. I love it. March 9th, Beth is going to have one that says from cold email to booked sales meeting. Ooh, I like that. All right. And Coleen says 3 steps from chaos to clarity for midlife entrepreneurs. Mic drop. Boom. Coleen was paying attention. She built out an amazing workshop that everybody who is a midlife entrepreneur is going to want to go to. All right. And now you're just going to have to come up with that novelty and that challenge. All right. So that was my challenge to you. Go to your calendar, pick out a date that's 90 minutes, you have 90 minutes, ideally a Wednesday, maybe a Tuesday or a Thursday, and throw it on your calendar. That is your new workshop with your new sexy, irresistible workshop title. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've had a lot of fun with you today. If you had fun, please put fun in the chat box. Please put fun in the chat box. If you got some sort of level of transformation, please put transformation in the chat box. Put transformation in the chat box. Awesome. And we have a lot of cool stuff for you coming up. So I have had a lot of fun with you guys today. For those of you who I haven't met yet, remember, I'm Kimberly Crowe. I'm delighted to meet you today. And with that, I'll turn it over to the amazing and talented duo of Coleen Stubbs and Nicole Bortney. Cheers.
Hello, hello. Okay, so dare I ask, does anyone have any questions? Now is the time to ask your question.
Okay, I do. So I'm curious about your market spend, meaning your marketing calendar is only so much. And so if you're doing a lot of events, you are spending a lot of your time promoting.
Oh, awesome. Are you worried about the promotion time or are you worried
I
about the
am.
delivery time?
Yeah,
Oh, the
because there's
promotion time?
just, because honestly, you don't want to burn your list. You don't want to burn your
Ah.
followers, right? And so if you're constantly pitching that thing that they're come to, even though it's not really a pitch, I'm curious how you get around that.
Ooh, that's a great question. So I have a list of 62,000 people on my list. I mail my list every day. I have an incredible open rate. My list is used to me promoting something every day. Or maybe it's just like, I released a new video, here's information. Or, hey, I heard about this thing, you might want to check it out. And there's something that I promote every day, and I have an incredible open rate. The question you're asking is, what if I burn my list, right?
Exactly, the
My list is
opt-out.
not used to getting emails every day. And I get that. But here's why people unsubscribe. People unsubscribe because they don't want what you're sending them. And that's actually a good thing. Unsubscribe is your friend. So what you need to do is, before you send out any emails, you need to say, would my ideal client think this is valuable? Would my ideal client say, oh my gosh, yes, thank you. Oh my gosh, yes, thank you. Oh my gosh, yes, thank you. And if I send out something like, I have partners that want to promote my programs, products, and services. Maybe they're like, I would love to promote Speakers Playhouse. It's free, super fun, totally awesome. Would love to do that. And they sell back pain solutions. And they want me to promote their back pain solutions to my audience. I can't do that because my audience is speakers and entrepreneurs. And while 3% of them might have very serious back pain problems, I cannot start promoting things that my whole audience and my ideal client is not going to see as valuable. And they'll be like, what is she doing? Unsubscribe, right? That's not useful. But if you are sending useful things to your audience that your ideal client would continue to say, yes, thank you, then you are not burning your list at all. So I can speak to that because I'm a witness to being able to mail your email list every day. And I'm talking like my regular email goes out. A new email goes out every day. In addition to that, people are getting emails like, hey, you already signed up for this. Remember that we have a call. Or, hey, you already signed up for that. We've got this happening. So they're getting 2, maybe 3 emails in a day if they're engaged with me because they've signed up for stuff. So how do I avoid burning my list? I promote what my ideal audience would definitely say, yes, thank you to. Now, if I'm doing a workshop that's very specific to one group, I might only promote to that section of the list, right? So if I'm doing one that's just on, I'll have to give an example that's a terrible example because I don't do this one, but I have an event called Voices of Women, right? Speakers can come and speak on an event called Voices of Women. When they do, it's awesome. But ideally, I would just mail that to the women on my list, ideally. But I don't have my list segmented as men, women, or non-answer. I don't have them segmented that way. So I would like to make sure that I get it to everybody. So I do mail that one to everybody. And oftentimes I'll have the men say, hey, my wife, my daughter, my girlfriend, my aunt, my mom would be great at this, right? But you can segment your list to say, okay, only these people would be interested in this, right? Did that answer your question?
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you, Beth.
All right, Lois.
So I've just released a course. And so when I do a workshop, would I like actually teach something that's in that course, or what would I
Ooh, good
what would I
question.
do with that?
So the question is, what do I teach? And the answer is teach them something that solves an objection to why they're not coming to your workshop, your class. Okay. So if they say, I don't have enough time to be able to do your 6-week course, you can say, we're going to do a mini session. And then during that mini session, you could say, if you don't have an hour a week to spend on your dream, then you need to look at your calendar and find out what's on your calendar that's not feeding your dream that you can clear out of the way.
Okay.
So that you can come to this class. Right? So you're going to give them the transformation they need to have to be able to come to your program, product, or service. Right? If they say, I don't have enough money, you could do a workshop on quick injection, cash injection methods. Right? Here's 10 ways to be able to make $197 by Friday.
Okay.
And then they'll come to that workshop and they're like, if you found at least one, then great, sign up for my $197 class.
Are you limiting the number of people that are in a workshop?
Why would you do that? Yes, you can.
I don't know. I didn't know how much one-to-one interaction there was with the workshop.
Oh, you want as much as possible. If I had 250 people on, that'd be great. Then I would be like, awesome, put your questions in the chat, or I'd give time for them to raise their hand, or I'd extend the time. Absolutely. You want to have as many people as possible, because there will be people who are a little bit shy that are just getting to know you, that are not ready to raise their hand yet. And you want to give them time to be able to ask their question in a variety of different ways. So yeah, I
Right.
do not limit the number of people in the workshop. I do limit the number of VIPs. If I'm giving VIPs something that would take my time, like I will go through your transcript, I will go through your workshop title, I will go through your workshop title in the first 3 points that you're going to make as a promise. If I'm doing that for VIPs, then yes, I would limit the number of VIPs. But open sessions, I would love to have as many people on as possible. Did that
Okay.
answer your question?
Yeah, it did. Thank you very much.
Good questions. I will add those 2 things the next time I teach this class.
So
They're good
I have a
questions.
question for you.
Yeah.
You said that you've done over 200 in the past 4 years. That's a workshop a week.
Yep.
Are you doing the same workshop every week?
No, it's a different workshop every week for my joint venture partners. So every week we give away at Speakers Playhouse, we give away a workshop from one of my joint venture partners that's usually worth $199. So everybody who's there gets that workshop for free. And then I mail it to my list that they can come to this workshop. And it's something that benefits speakers and entrepreneurs, right? So I will mail that to my list and have them be able to get a large audience there. We usually get 60 or so people that sign up for the workshop, 60 to 100. And then we get about 30 people that actually show up for it. And then those 30 get that transformation. And that's what I coach on. But I'm not teaching those classes. I'm creating the workshops for them and giving the guidelines that they need to have as some sort of transformation in the event. Then, of course, I do my own, which I would do transformations in as well. So they could be like, I have 4 different workshops that I'm teaching throughout the year now. And so I kind of spread them through the year.
Very good. Very good. Does anybody have any other questions or comments?
Oh,
Well,
let me share what I got from LinkedIn. There was Brian came in and he said that he said he really liked the part about reducing the daily overwhelm. Automation flows can be game changers when done right. Making these tools actually accessible is key. And then Angelina says on YouTube here that she likes the trust multiplier, one superpower that changes everything, and that she got total transformation.
That's interesting because I don't think that was my talk. I think that was the other talk last week, but that's cool.
how odd.
Awesome. I
I
do
don't
have
know
it.
why it's crossing like that. And
It's
so
okay.
tell me more about your workshop. When do you have another workshop coming up, and what is the topic?
Ooh, I do. I have another workshop coming up on the 25th, I believe. That topic is how to host a profitable one-day virtual event. I have done over 100 summits and probably over 50 in one-day events, like Potapalooza and a variety of others. And there is a strategy, a system to be able to host a profitable one-day virtual event. A lot of people put on events and then they're like, wait, that was a lot of work and it didn't get me anything. So we want to be sure that you are actually driving revenue before you even make your offer during the event. So I teach a class on that. That's happening on the 27th. I thought it was the 25th. It's the 27th of February from 10 to noon.
Okay. And so you have been doing this, Kimberly, for quite a while. How long have you been doing these workshops?
I've been doing workshops since 2019, right before COVID. And then after COVID, it just really exploded and we started really building it from there. But yeah, it's been a ride. It's been a really fun ride.
How'd your first ones go? I just want to know the
Great question.
classes.
Yeah, they were shit.
Good, good. I feel better already.
We all learn by doing, right? And so I will give you the things that I learned. We call them the black and blue rule, right? It's not the golden rule. It's the black and blue rule. Like I did it, I learned, and this is the message I got from it, right? And so yeah, the first one was not necessarily perfect. I had guidance and counsel for the very first workshop I ever gave, and it was better than it would have been if I didn't have guidance and counsel. but there was still a lot to learn. So
Right.
yeah, I don't know if you have time for a quick story, but the workshop that I gave actually drove people to a 6-week class. I got 12 people in my 6-week class. My boss, my mentor, not my boss, my mentor thought that was amazing. And I was like, 12, I wanted like 50. Well, like, what's this 12? He's like, you got 12 people in a 6-week workshop. That's incredible. Go for it. So I went for it, and I put the date on the calendar, told everybody about it. And then I was like, I think I'm going to back out. I'm not ready yet. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I said, well, I know what I'm going to teach for the first 3 weeks, but on week 4 in the afternoon, I'm not sure what I'm going to teach. And he was like, stop. You're going to teach this class. The very first day, you're going to put up a whiteboard and you're going to say, okay, we're going to be together for 6 weeks. What do you want to learn? And I was horrified. I was like, I can't do that. I'm supposed to know what to teach them. How could I possibly ask them the question? What do they want to learn? And he's like, trust me. And I did. Take a deep breath, and I put up a whiteboard, and they were like, it was on business. It was how to launch a business. And they said, somebody raised their hand and they said, Kimberly, you have a Facebook group. How do we create a Facebook group? I want to learn that. Not something I thought I would teach. And the next person said, you also have meetups that you do to get people like in there with you. Like, how do you do meetup? And I was like, oh, all right, launch a business. We're going to learn about Facebook and meetup. Great. What else do you want to learn? What do you think about Facebook ads? What do you think? And they asked all these questions, right? And I was like, got it. I have a whole new class I'm going to teach. But at the beginning, I was like, I have an agenda, but we want to make it about you. And so, and then at the end of that class, I was supposed to offer a $10,000 program. At the end, 2 people said that they wanted to get on a call and had their credit cards ready out of the 12. And I called my my mentor and I was like, yeah, only 2 people out of the 12 wanted it. And he's like, take their money. And I was like, I don't want to do it. And I bailed. I bailed out. Totally bailed. That's a true story. I bailed out. I was like, nah, I don't want to spend a year with just 2 people. And so I didn't do it. And then I found out what I really wanted to do, which had nothing to do with how to launch a business. It had to do with how to get on stage and make conversions from stage and build reputation with people and build know, like, and trust. So yeah, they aren't always a success. It's okay.
I love that, Kimberly. And you know what? I think that you're the perfect guest for us because Nicole and I in 2026, we're all about getting seen and heard and really helping entrepreneurs get the confidence to be seen and heard. One of the rules that I always go back to, and I have for 37 years, I keep going back to this, is you are never going to be ready the first time. You're just not. Stop holding out for when you think you're going to be ready to start. Now, the second time, you can be more ready because you've already done it and you know a little bit more. You maybe have a little bit more expectations, but honestly, I can say that no 2 times are ever the same in my experience. And so you're never really always ready, I feel like. What are your thoughts on that, Kimberly?
What she said. Yes, of course, you're never going to be ready, right? You're never going to have it all perfect. And if you do, then you have waited too long to give people transformation because you were too busy perfecting things.
Right.
I just say perfectionist, like if you're a perfectionist, that's cool. But perfection is another word for procrastination, right? I'm not ready yet means I'm just going to procrastinate. And the bad news is that it's not even about the opportunity that you lose out on by making sales and helping people. It's the problem is that the people who are ready for you now are not getting the transformation they need. It's no longer about you, it's about them. So if you feel like you're not ready yet and you have to perfect it first, then people who need you now are going to buy a program from somebody with half your talent and twice your price. And that is not the way this world is supposed to work. So go out there, be vulnerable, try it out, let people see the real you. I mean, I have been more than once totally goofy on stage and been like, that just happened. That's just a thing. We're doing that now.
Absolutely.
So get out there and do it. I will tell you, we didn't say this, but in my bio, it says I've been on over 5,000 stages, including TEDx in Las Vegas. And that's true. And my best talk ever, Coleen, is my next talk. because I can always improve. I can always do something a little differently. The questions that were asked today, that's feedback for me. I'm going to be like, awesome. The next time I teach this class, I'm going to have to include that. And so I wasn't done, because we're never going to get it done. And we'll never get it wrong, because we'll never be done. Because
Yes.
there's always another one to do.
I love that. And I am a firm believer that you're preparing and someone else is taking action. And that sets you apart, right? Like, take the action. Just do the thing, and I honestly, I feel like there is no better time than right now to actually jump in and do it, because we're in a trust recession. We are. And if you can just be authentic, if you can screw up, if you can pop on and say, guess what? Zoom's having problems. Guess what? I'm still not streaming live on my end on LinkedIn. Nicole says I am, but
Yep.
it doesn't show it on my end.
Yep.
And this morning, like I said, I've been going to using the same link, and it's a custom link I've been using for 8 months, 5 mornings a week. And this morning it put me in the wrong room. And I sat there for 10 minutes like, where are my people? And then I went back and clicked it and refreshed and clicked again, and there they all were waiting for me. I'm like, well, good morning. So you just have to go with it. People are expecting authenticity. They're craving that. And so show up. Who cares if you screw up a little bit, or if you don't know? You can fake it till you make it, and just keep going. I wouldn't suggest doing what Kim did and backing out with only 2 people, but that's my personal
That was a mistake. Yeah, I don't know. It was right for me. If I kept teaching that, then I wouldn't be doing the amazing stuff that I'm doing now. I was in corporate for 17 years. 15 of them were good. The last 2 sucked. I wanted to get out, but I was making so much money. It didn't make sense to quit a job that was paying you a lot of money, but I really didn't want to do that anymore. And I could have stuck it out. I could have just, put on my big girl panties and been like, this is who I am. I'm going to do this. But if I'd done that, I wouldn't have had this. I wouldn't have this that I'm doing now, helping people transform, helping people get what they really, really need as entrepreneurs, coaches, authors, healers, creatives. And I love what I do now.
Yeah.
So do it, do the thing, take the leap, and go for it.
And that's the difference too. And so the ROI, when you're looking at the ROI, let's look at the life ROI. Let's not forget to add that in, because really, truly, most of the people I see on here are midlife entrepreneurs. At this point in life, we have less ahead of us than we have behind us. And so we really need to make it what we want it to be, right? And the thing I love about what you said is that you're doing what you love. And that, I try to tell people, really just makes a difference in your business, a huge difference. It removes the work aspect of your business. Yeah, there's still tasks that you do, but it's not like the dreaded feeling of I have to work. If you get up and you absolutely are madly, passionately in love with what you're doing, what you're teaching, what you're sharing every day, it becomes easy. You never run out of content, because you can talk about it. It's like me talking about my 14 grandkids. Like, I could talk about them all day, right? Because I love them so dearly. And so when you find a business, build a business that you're madly passionate about, it all comes so much easier for you. There's no reason to go out and I have to learn all these new skills to go teach all these things that I'm not deeply, madly passionate about, right? It's not going to be successful for you.
I agree. There's a very big difference between grind and work, right? You could do good work out there in the world, but if you're doing it and it's a grind, then you got to really look at what you're doing. If you're, I believe you should get on the road to joy. And the road is an acronym. R stands for relish. If you relish it, keep doing it. I relish doing my website for the first 5 minutes or 2 days, and then I didn't relish it anymore. So after that, it's got to go into one of the other 4 buckets or other 3 buckets. So O is outsource, ROAD. R is for relish. O is for outsource. Find somebody else, pay somebody else, have your kids do it. Somebody else needs to do it. You got to outsource that to somebody else. A is for automate, right? I send 62,000 emails every day. I don't send them. That's automated, right? And D is for delete. Get it off your calendar entirely. Get it off your desk entirely. Delete it. See what happens when you delete it. If you delete it and nothing happens, great. You never had to do it in the first place. For me, the example was holiday cards. I sent out 40 holiday cards when I had little kids, and I was like, oh, they're up to this and blah, blah, blah. And here's what the family is doing. And here's what Mark and I are doing and blah, blah, blah. Right. And then I did that every year, 40 holiday cards. Right. I would mail them out, send it. And then one year I was like, I'm not doing that this year. I'm just not going to. Like, that's not fun anymore. That's a grind. I don't want to do that. And I didn't send it out. And I will tell you, not one person reached out to me and said, where's my holiday card, Kimberly? And you just delete it. It's fine. It was fun while it was fun. And when it's not fun, get it off your plate.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Kimberly. This has been so beneficial. Everybody give it up for Kimberly. Give it up in the chat. Give her some claps. Give her some heart. Give her some love. If this was beneficial to everybody, then we would love to see you back next week.
Stay for caffeinated conversations, you guys. If you want to just stay on this link, that's next. So there's networking, and you get to share, and we're gonna do some more collaborations.
Sorry about that. Next week, our guest speaker is Alina Grant, who is here with us today. And so, Alina, we are excited to come and support you next week. Do you want to give us a short intro to what you're speaking about next week?
I'm gonna speak about kind of what you guys finished on filtering out, simplifying your business to be able to manage it better. I also I had 3 clients this morning call me, not understanding their P&L. And if you guys are interested, I just didn't think maybe it's the tax return deadline coming up and everybody's reviewing their finances and how it all looks, how their numbers look for last year. Maybe that kind of brought it up. But if you would like to talk about your financials reports and what your records should look like, let me know that as well. But my approach to business is to simplify, systemize, and strategize. And that's what I was going to talk about next week.
Well, we're going to have an S day next Monday then, aren't we? All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you once again, Kimberly. You were a great guest speaker, and I will be happy to send some short clips over to you later this afternoon. Everybody, if you want to stay put, we are going to take a short break, play a commercial, and then we will come back for caffeinated conversations.